Today, how a cognitive bias called category size bias bamboozles our brain to misjudge our chances of winning. Hi, I'm Graeme Newell. My speeches and webinars show you how to use the latest brain science insights to make smarter money decisions. Click on the subscribe and the bell below to see more of my videos. Okay, how about we play a little game? In just a moment, I'm going to try and guess a letter that you've picked from the alphabet. But before you pick, I want you to do your best to try and stop me from correctly guessing your letter. Now, there's one fact that I want to remind you of before you pick. There are only 5 vowels in the alphabet, but there are 21 consonants. Okay, go ahead and pick your letter. You got it? Now, if you're like most people, my comment about there being 5 vowels and 21 consonants biased your brain to pick a consonant. But think about it. Picking a consonant or a vowel doesn't change the odds. The odds are 1 in 26, no matter what letter you pick. This is an example of the cognitive bias called category size bias. It's our preference for choosing things in larger categories than in smaller categories. So let's say you want to fight animal extinction and you've decided to give money to a charity. Charity number 1 is concerned about the dwindling number of these specific species. Charity number 2 is concerned about all these same species as well, but they're also worried about the extinction of these additional animals. So who would you give your money to? Most people choose charity number 2. Not because it's a more effective charity, but simply because it's got a longer list of animals it's worried about. Our very flawed human brain is biased to think that more is better, even when the probabilities haven't changed. Another question for you. Where would you like to purchase your Powerball lottery ticket? Here's a list of the recent winners from New Mexico, and here's the list of winners from Michigan. Where would you buy? The odds of winning the Powerball are exactly the same no matter where you buy your ticket. But your very flawed human brain sees that longer list and starts believing that Michigan tickets provide a better chance of winning. But simple probability tells you more people live in Michigan than New Mexico, so of course there are more winners. In one study, researchers asked IT security managers to assess the risk of a security breach. They showed one group a short list of potential threats and a second group a longer list of threats. You can probably guess what happened. Group number 2 assessed their own risk of attack as higher. And category size bias does some of its most serious damage in the world of finance. Investors get mightily impressed when they read that prospectus and see a long list of opportunities the company's pursuing. Category size bias tricks investors into believing that more is better. A company with a long list of priorities is diversified, right? But maybe they're just scattered and unfocused, superficially chasing a hopeless number of options. Diversification in the world of finance is important, but companies quickly reach a point of diminishing returns. Category size bias has us believing that the more things we do, the more our chances of success. This hoodwinks individual investors all the time with puffed up portfolios full of obscure sectors they know nothing about. I have an investing friend who's obsessed with diversification. He recently started investing in exotic assets. He's now buying shares in fine art and vintage wine. Sure, he's diversified, but he's also clueless about what he's buying. If you'd like to learn more about how our very flawed human brain tends to misjudge risk, I've got another video for you. I'm going to tell you all about the cognitive bias called the Monte Carlo fallacy. Click the link right here to see that video now. So how can you avoid falling victim to category size bias? It all starts with fully engaging a thorough evaluation process. The goal is to avoid intuitive moves. Always double check your subconscious response. Before you make major moves, make sure your conscious, rational brain is fully engaged. Sit down and figure out the probabilities on a spreadsheet. Most importantly, always question, then double check any of your gut hunches. Just because a horse comes from a large herd doesn't mean it's a large horse. Right now, I'm working on another video on how cognitive biases tempt us to make bad financial choices. If you'd like to be alerted when that video is completed, just click on my face below to subscribe. And be sure to click that alert bell too. And I've created tons more videos on how brain science can help you make smarter money choices. Click on this box right here to see the full playlist. I'm Graeme Newell, and that's Better Decisions Through Brain Science.